Questions and handlemen o mani of Joera ave experiencia tisene. Your alarm rings at 5:00 am. Questions. Ansaito yourself pohus 5 minutos. And then, when you open your eyes again, it's no 05, it's 5:30. Questions. Pause let people laug. The only thing you mastered is the art of snoring. Questions. But let me notice if we can't master all morning. O we ever master or min. Pues questions te why we vegin o die. Decides te why we live or die. And te why we live or die. Decides te why we live or live. So to die let me share with you. 5 early morning case to master your min. Questions. In over te ve discipline comfort for you vedes the most loyal friend you have. It never leaves you. It always hooks you. Questions. But it also never lets you grow. If you can win that first battle heading out of what you have already told your mind. Preempte questions of you. Discipline is nothing but choosing what you want most over what you want no. Remember, questions. If you conquer the morning, you conquer the mind. And if you conquer the mind, you conquer the world. Questions. Gratitude over grumbling most people wake upante first thing they do is check their phone. Questions. And when 5 minutes stere comparing their life with someone else's vacation photos. Instead, questions te fisto you should have in this gratitude. The moment you open your eyes just sigh. But thank you. Questions. Gratitude is like the morning te for the mind, it refreshes you and sets the flavor for the whole day. Silence before a noise we live in a world of notifications. Your phone wakes up before you do. A pause for loud questions, but before it all shoots into your ears, give your mind the gift of silence, meditate. Reflect, que causes silence is not empty, silence is full of answers. When the mind is calm in the morning, it can handle the storms of the day. Questions. Fet the mind before you fet the body, most people think breakfast means food for the stomach. Questions. But the real breakfast is food for the mind. Read something inspiring, listen to something uplifting. Questions. Even 10 minutes of God content can shape the use of your day. Remember, hung voids your stomach. Questions. Hung informations poise your mind. So before you rush to the kitchen. Questions. Go to the library of wisdom even if it's just on a page of a good book. Movement creates momentum if the body is lazy. Que the mind becomes crazy. A pause let it sink. A little yoga, a brisk wall. Questions. Some exercise movement in the morning sets momentum for the day. When the blood flows, ideas flow. When the body is leaked, the mind is rigged. Take care of your body and your mind, we take care of you. Questions. We know that the best discipline over comfort every morning. The very first battle we face is not outside in the world. It is not with all of us, not with all the deadliness, not with traffic on the road. The very first battle happens in the quietest place, between us and our bed. Think about it. The alarm rings. Questions. And immediately our vegins. On see the whispers, a head up today is a new opportunity. Let's start strong. Ite otesi the whispers, relax, you deserve a rest. Just 5 more minutes. And if you have noticed, those 5 minutes are never 5 minutes. Te avete magical power to expand into 45 minutes. Now let's understand this. The bed is so comforting. It is warm, soft. Questions. And it comes you back with open arms. In fact, the bed is like a childhood friend who never leaves you. Questions. No matter what mode you are in, the bed size become a mirror. And yet, have you realized really your bed keeps you comfortable? Questions. It also keeps you where you are. It does let you grow. Because success, discipline, growth. Questions. And mastery they are never found in the zone of comfort. They are found in the zone of change. If you truly want to master your mind, the first victory must be won against the temptation of the bed. Questions. When the alarm rings and you rise, you are not just standing up from your mattress, you are standing up against laziness, procrastination, and excuses, and that victory gives you confidence. It takes your mind, payam te master, not yo. Questions. I control te voi tochts. I control te dai. E let me give jo an exemple. Imagine a soldier in te army. Fotem te dai vegins at 4:30 or 5:00 in the morning. Rain cold e atido es mater. Te wake up te train, te discipline themselves, uvedove la chegirega. Because te can tate if te cannot win te battle of the veterans. Te win meve readito in te battle on the field. Similarly, if we cannot win the first little war at 6:00, questions, o we face te viher was of life at 12:00 noon. No mani pe ople saibo, but I'm not a morning person. I walk late at night, questions. I like to sleep. Let me tell you, it's not about being a morning person or a night person. Questions. It's about being a disciplined person. Discipline is nothing but the art of choosing what you want most over what you want no. At 5:00 you might want to sleep, but what you want most is a healthy, successful, purposeful life. A very time you wake up on time. Questions. You remind yourself that you are choosing your rigor purpose over your lower pleasure. Let's take a daily life example. Picture te ople. Potave te same hob, te same talent, te same education. One wake superali. Spends te first in exercise, prayer reading and planning is die. Te oter wake suplate ruses, skips breakfast questions. Croy social media and runs out of te ose inauri. What do you think has more clarity, energy, and focus? Obviously, the first person, not because he is smarter, not because he is luckier, but because he chose discipline over comfort. Comfort is like a sugar. It tastes sweet in the moment you create this in the long run. Discipline is like medicine. Questions. It might taste bitter at first, but else it strengthens and it empowers. So when the alarm rings tomorrow, questions. Remember this simple principle. O comfort we have jo pleasure no would pine later. Questions. Discipline mai jo pine no would we have jo pleasure later. E anoter simple daily example. Think about your phone battery. Questions. If you want start your day on snow mode, you're starting te day already drained. But if you wake up on time, yo are like a phone chaheda 100%. Yo have fui energy, fui clarity, fui focus. Que sta on a decision to rise early and not surrender to comfort can recharge your entire life. Create leaders, thinkers, inventors. Question science. Scientists have a thing in common. Te evaluate discipline over comfort. Te understood that mornings are the foundation of mastery. If they call win the battle of the bed, questions. They call win the battles of the mind and eventually the battles of life. No, let's make it even more relatable. Imagine you have an important meeting at 9:00 am. You wake up 8:15. What happens? You rush to the bathroom. You rush quickly. Questions. Maybe skip your breakfast. You run to the car. You're stuck in traffic. You're anxious. And you enter the meeting stressed. No, imagine the same meeting, but you wake up at 6:30. You take a shower per se Fuji, you eat a healthy breakfast. Questions. You do some light exercise, my very at some meeting, uplifting, review your points for the eating. And leave with calm confidence. Questions. When you arrive, you're not just on time, you are on point. Same meeting, same person. Questions. But a complete different result only because of on a choice, winning over the bed. Me dear friends, questions. Mastering the mind is not about some magical formula. It's not about reading hundreds of books or practicing for hours. It starts with a small, simple, consistent act. And that act is walking upon time. When you do that, you take your mind. Questions. Or you are a me servant, not me master. Because if we cannot command ourselves in the small things, questions. Or we ever command ourselves in the big things. So tomorrow morning when the alarm rings, remember, the first decision you make is the foundation of the whole day. We you chose discipline over comfort. Questions. We chose purpose over pleasure. We you chose growth over laziness. If you conquer the bed, you conquer the morning. Questions. If you conquer the morning, you conquer the mind. And if you conquer the mind, you conquer your life. Questions. Gratitude over grumbling when most people wake up in the morning. What is the very first thing they do? Questions. Some reach out to turn off the alarm. Some reach to check their messages. And many, without even realizing it, begin to die with grumbling. But no, it's Monday again. I PWCY is it so today. PWCY dino het no sleep. It the first thoughts and determine are complaints. Here is the secrets. The first talks of the day we come to say for the entire day. If you show complaints, you will reap frustration. If you show gratitude, you will reap joy. Gratitude is not just an easy idea, it is full for the millions. It is like switching on taking a dark room. Suddenly everything looks different. Imagine to WO wake up in the same city. Questions. On the same morning with the same weather. On a wake up and size. It's raining again. My day is ruined. Questions. Ite oterwake supan size. Po beautiful the rain is refreshing. There is cold. The plants are alive. Questions. Ite situation is identical, but the attitude changes everything. On starts the day grumbling. The oter starts the day grateful. Questions. By the end of the day, the one who grumbled we felt negative and upset. Questions. The one who practiced gratitude felt energized, light, and peaceful. Let's take a daily life example. Questions. Oh, many of us have complained about our hobbies. But I don't like my boss. I don't like this work. Question WCY have to go every day. But have you ever considered how many people are desperately looking for a hope and world we grateful to have what? You already complain about questions or think about it out. So me time suicide, bo mi vacuts, mi ade sachin, e true wa mai aves my discomforts. Questions. But often do we pause and sang jo I can still walk, tang jo I can still rate. Tang jo. Questions have energy to walk. Gratitude doest meandering changes. It means choosing to focus on blessings instead of burdens. It is something very interesting. The mind cannot all TW talks at the same time. Questions. You cannot grateful and grumbling in the same moment. Eite you complain. Oh, you give thanks. Gratitude is like a switch. When you turn it on, complaints cannot exist that space. So, questions. The best way to silence negativity in the morning is to begin with gratitude. Before you even pick up your phone, question, pick your thoughts, ask yourself questions. What are the three things I am grateful for right now? It could be as simple as, but I am grateful I woke up today. Question, because millions did not. But I am grateful I have a roof over my head. Because millions do not. Questions, but I am grateful I have a people who care for me. Because loneliness is one of the best pains in the world. Quest look at another daily example. Imagine you are traveling in a crowded bus. One person is irritated, sweating. Quest you because he has to stand. Another person in the same bus is smiling and calm. WCY. Questions. Because yesterday I had to walk 5 kilometers to work and today he has a bus to take him. Same crowd. Different mindset. Questions. Gratitude is not change the situation, changes the way you experience the situation. Questions, and this is where the power of morning gratitude lies. When you wake up with thankfulness. Questions. You are programming mind to say the positive, to focus on opportunities instead of the obstacles. Through God today. Questions. Your mind becomes a filter looking for reasons to be happy instead of reasons to complain. Without gratitude, questions, a very little inconvenience will make you miserable. With gratitude, even challenges become lessons. Questions. Think about the device you use your phone, no laptop, your internet connection. Many times, we grumble when the Wi-Fi is slow, but imagine life without it. Questions. The very thing we complain about is the very thing someone else is dreaming of. Gratitude shifts us from entitlement to appreciation. Questions you end up, my friends, is the better path of happiness. Now let's bring this even closer to home. Questions. How many times have we gotten irritated with our family? WCY always me chill have the ligton. WCY do es mi spouse not listen to me. But we pause just for a second and think questions. But leve a child wo fis mi ome with laugter. At last I have a partner wo shares lifes hone with me. Kestier, podiose te shift, gratitude doest remove imperfections. It simply magnifies the blessings above the flaws. Scientific researchers also shown that people who practice to the daily sleep better, feel less stressed, and live longer. Their mental health improves, their relationships deepen, and their work productivity increases. WY, because gratitude calms the restless mind. It softens the heart. It builds resilience. So tomorrow morning. Questions. Before you step off your bed, don't scroll through social media. Don't conjure complaints. Conjure blessings. Questions. My whisper smash prayer. My WY don't things you are thankful for. My just log off your window and smile at the rising sun. Remember this. Gratitude tunes what you have into eno. Questions. And what realmente possible. It transforms your morning from ordinary to extraordinary. The person who grumbles will always find something wrong. The person who is grateful will always find something right. And life, question, my friends, is to show start the day with complaints. Start it with gratitude. Questions. Because gratitude is whose change your morning, it changes your mind. And when your mind changes, your entire life changes. Questions. Silente before noise, the modern world has trained us to ake upinto noise. The moment the alarm goes off, many of us reach for our phones, and before it off even touch the floor, we are alle inside the chaos of the world. Questions. Emails, missed kindness, edliness, social media posts comping for our attention. All mind, which as husted per the fuji throat technique, is suddenly attacked with noise. And then we won't wonder the WY or restless angst. Questions. Amkuset throw God to die. But if you pause for a moment, think out it, mornings are the most sacred part of the day. It's a time when the world is still quiet. The roads are not yet full of traffic. The offices are not yet buzzing with activity. The mind is naturally calm. If at that very moment, instead of embracing silence, we immediately allow noise to enter. Questions. We rob ourselves of the most precious gift life has given us. Clarity. Questions. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of peace. Is not, and empty is full of answers. When we sit in silence, questions. Even for a few minutes, we allow our mind to breathe. We create a space can arise, where reflection can happen. Questions. Where the heart can speak. But when we face that space with noise from the very beginning, questions. We draw not the wisdom that silence offers. Think of it like it is. If a pour muddy water into a glass and keep stirring it, questions, you will never say clearly through it. But if you set the glass down and allow the water to settle in silence, questions, slowly the things and clarity appears. All mean is the same. If we keep stirring it with noise, it will remain restless. If we allow it silence settle and clarity will shine, let me give you a simple daily life example. Imagine TW mornings. Questions. In the first, you wake up, immediately check WhatsApp, scroll through Instagram, read the news, and start reacting to messages. Questions. Within 10 minutes, you feel rushed. Some of these photomakers you compare your life. Some of these messages stresses you out. Questions. Some news early fees you with worry. You haven't even brushed your teeth, but you are already carrying the weight of the world. Questions. No imagine a second morning. You wake up, sit quietly with your bed, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Questions. Your mind to settle. Mai ve you pray. Mai ve you meditate. Mai ve you see observe the stillness around you. Questions. 10 minutes later calm, you feel entered grounded. Which morning do you think will make you more productive? Peaceful. Questions where is obvious. Another example. Have you ever walked into a noisy marketplace? Everyone is shouting. Questions. Everyone is trying to grab your attention and you feel pulled in 1,000 directions. Questions. That is what our mind feels like when we begin to die with noise. But have you also walked into a temple, church, or garden early in the morning? Te slikter, te fails pease full, and suddenly problems don't seem so big. That is what our min experiences when we have it silence first. People often say, Bobut I don't have time to sit quietly. My mornings are busy. Let me tell you this, silence is not a waste of time. Silence is what saves time. Questions. A restless mind takes double time to finish the same task. A calm mind works with focus, clarity, and speed. Those 10 minutes of silence in the morning we save your ourselves, stress later in the day. Questions. And silence does not mean you have to sit like a sage in the Himalayas. Silence can be as simple as sipping your tea slowly. Questions. Without your phone. Silence can be watching the sunrise. Silence can be listening to your own breath. Questions. Silence can be sitting in gratitude with your eyes closed. It's not about the method, it is about the mindset. Questions. It is something profound. Most of us think the answers to our problems are outside. We think we ask more people, gesture more posts, if we have more opinions, if find the answer. But in truth, the greatest answers are inside us. Questions is the bridge to those answers. Ida Josus stoja te inner voice that is often drowned of the external noise. Questions. Think about it when phone battery is low, you don't keep pushing it until it dies. Questions. You plug into silence to share and let rest. Only then can it serve you again. Our mind is the same. Questions. If we keep running it on noise, we drain. If we plug it into silence, even for a short while, it recharges. My dear friends, silence is not about escaping the world. It is about strengthening yourself to face the world. It is not about avoiding responsibility. It is about entering responsibility with clarity. When you give yourself silence before a noise, you set the foundation for a day of peace rather than panic. Questions or focus rather than distraction. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, resist the temptation to run into the noise of the world. Questions. Instead, close your eyes, take a deep breath, listen to the silence. It might feel unusual at first. You might feel restless, but stay with it. Because the treasures of silence are not revealed immediately, they are revealed gradually. Questions. And you taste the power of silence. You will never want to begin your day with noise again. Because in silence, the mind finds peace. And a peaceful mind is a powerful mind. Questions. A mind that begins in silence will calm into the noise of the world. And that, my friends, is true mastery. Questions. Feed the mind before you feed. The body must people think breakfast is only orienting forward. The first thing we want after waking up is a hot cup of tea, some toast, my eggs, or whatever we enjoy. We say, we can't function without my breakfast. Questions. It would is something to reflect upon do ever think about what we are feeding or mind before we feed our stomach. Questions. Because the truth is the stomach only fuels the body, but the mind fuels the entire direction of our life. Questions. If body is strong but the mind is stumbling, if the body is tired but the mind is inspired, we can still keep going. That is the power of feeding the mind first. Let's use a simple example. Imagine a car. The fuel tank power staying in. Questions. But what about the driver? If the driver is confused, careless, or distracted, even the best car won't reach its destination. In the same way, your stomach is the fuel tank for gives energy, but your mind is the driver. Questions. And if you do the driver proper direction and clarity, the journey of the day will go off track. Now let's observe daily life, or the most of our means in the morning. We wake up and scroll through our phones. The first or breakfast for the mind is social media. We chew negativity from the news, so comparison from Instagram, gossip from WhatsApp. And then we wonder why our minds feel restless, anxious, and they have a day long. Questions. That is like feed your stomach hung for the very morning and expecting to be healthy. Whose like poor food spoils your stomach? Questions. Poor input spoils your mind. Imagine it is the wake up at 6:00 am. On opens the news app, reads about crime corruption. Questions. disasters andin telefelse tenne check social media se someone vacationing in te Maldives and fels healos. Questions. Vi 6:30 amis min isal readiclutered, teote person wake sup, sits quietly and reats a pahe of an inspiring book. Questions. My veits a biography of someone great, my veits a spiritual text, my veits a motivational article. Vi 6:30 am. Questions is uplifted full of energy and positivity. No would step into the same world, but on a carry stress. Questions and te carry strength. The only difference is the breakfast te gave termines. If you observe the greatest thinkers, leaders and achievers in history, you will find that they were the input into termines. They didn't allow hung to enter silly questions. They were careful with what they read, what they listened to, and what they talked about. Questions. They understood that the quality of their output in life depended really on the quality of their input in the mind. If you want wise decisions, you need wise thoughts. If you want a calm life, you need peaceful inputs. If you want a hopeful spirit, you need inspiring messages. Gavahe in garvahe out, greatness in greatness out. Think of another example. Question: have you ever seen a gardener planting seeds? If a plant weeds, no matter how much it waters the soil, weeds will grow. Questions. If it flowers the garden we bloom, or minds the soil, and the first thing we put in every morning is the seed. Questions. If we put seeds of anger, comparison, jealousy, and negativity, then no matter what we the garden of our life will look complacent. But if we put in seeds of wisdom, positivity, and inspiration, question ten life naturai vehins to blossom. No some peo plesai, pobuidon da vetimetoriat box in the morning. Im to vusi. Questions. If eding te mindo est always avetomean rading for us. Questions. It can be as simple as listening to my 10 minute motivational podcast while getting ready. It can be with reading on a powerful talk in a diary and reflecting on it. Questions. It can even be reciting a prayer or mantra that fills the heart with strength. It is not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Questions. Even on a drop on a sweeten the entire glass of water. In the same way on a uplifting talk can sweeten the entire day. Questions. Think about this in terms of technology. You need software updates. If you don't install the right updates, your apps stop working properly. The morning is the time to update the software of your mind. Fed with the right knowledge. Questions. The right inspiration, the right perspective, and what shows mostly your apps, your actions, your relationships. Questions. Your work begin to run. Let's bring this into a relatable daily example. Suppose you wake panreadas my story about kindness. Questions. Som en apps stranger on test rate. That on story styles with it you and the latter in the when you say some on struggling. Questions. You feel inspired to help. Or imagine you started with a quote about patience. Later when traffic hams test your nervous. Questions. That quote whispers in your mind and calms you down. That is of aiding the mind works. Questions. What you put in the morning becomes the fuel that guides your decisions throughout the day. My dear friends, questions. Never underestimate the power of the morning mind yet. Breakfast for the body keeps you alive. Questions. Breakfast for the mind makes your life wait. Tomorrow morning before you rush for coffee or tea, ask yourself questions. What am I giving me minto eat? You wish vete hung for of social media noise, or te vole some me all of wisdom and inspiration. Questions. Remember your body's energy, but the mind needs direction. The body needs food, but the mind needs meaning. Questions. If you learn to feed your mind before you feed your body, you will not just survive today, or we thrive through it. Questions. Because the mind said, as the power to transform the way you experience everything else. Questions. Movement creates momentum. Have you ever noticed what happens when you wake up and keep lying in bed, scrolling your phone, or just dragging yourself slowly into the day? Your energy remains low, your mood feels heavy, and even smash tasks seem like a mountain to climb. But on the other hand, When you head up, stretch your body. Go for a wall yoga, que sea little, or even do some simple exercises, suddenly the day feels different. The heaviness disappears. Questions. And there is a flow of energy that carries you forward. This is the magic of movement. Questions. Movement is momentum only for the body, but also for the mind. Think of a car parked for weeks. The battery becomes weak. Questions. Then he resists starting. And even when it finally moves, it feels slow. But once the wheels start rolling, momentum takes over. And the drive becomes smooth. Or body and mind are the same. If the body is lazy in the morning, the mind becomes foggy. Questions. But when the body is active, the mind becomes alert. Moment in the morning does just warm up muscles. It awakens the spirit. Let's take a daily life example. Imagine te uledoko jages at work. On wakes up late, rushes to the office without breakfast. Sits idle at the desk and feels drained the afternoon. Te wakes up a little earlier. Tas 20 minutes to exercise. Questions. Maybe goes for a whole practices yoga and 10 hours to work. Vite afternoon, will te first on is yawning and struggling. The second on is alert, energetic and productive. The difference is not intelligence. The difference is not look. Questions. The difference is momentum. Movement is like pressing the start button for your entire system. When the blood flows, questions enriches the brain. When the body stretches, stiffness levels and energy enters. When the heart rises through exercise, motivation rises with it. A moving body naturally inspires a moving mind. A stagnant body over creates stagnant thoughts. Questions this. Have you ever noticed ideas come to you while walking? Questions. You may be struggling with a problem sitting at your desk. But the moment you get up and take a walk, suddenly solutions appear. WHY. Because the movement frees the mind. When the body moves, energy shifts and new thoughts flow. Questions. Sitting still in laziness breeds confusion, but moving creates clarity. There is a simple but powerful principle. But if the body is lazy, the mind goes crazy. We don't need expensive gym memberships or complicated routines. Just question. 15-20 minutes of intention in the morning can change the entire rhythm of your day. A brisk walk in the park. Questions. A few rounds of stretching, some yoga postures, a little dancing to your favorite song it icons. Questions. The goal is not to become a professional athlete. The goal is to shake the body and also that the mind wakes up fully. Question of another example. Have you seen children early in the morning? They wake up and instead of dragging the feet, questions, they run compounded loud and play. That movement makes them so alive. And as we grow there, what do we do? Questions. We replace that hopeful movement with sluggish routines. We take ourselves pinto tired. Questions. You not really think that it is the lack of movement that is making us tired in the first place. The more we move. Questions. The more energy we create. Let's compare it with water. Flowing water stays fresh, but stagnant water begins to smell. Question. Body is the same. If it moves, it stays vibrant. If it stays still for too long, it becomes heavy and douche. Questions. And just like stagnant breeds mosquitoes, a stagnant breeds negative thoughts. Questions. Movement purifies the body and the mind. No some people say, but I don't like exercising. That's because we look at exercise as a punishment rather than a celebration. What if we look at it differently? Questions. Movimento is the boring. You could play a sport, dance, cycle, swim, or simply walk while listening to something uplifting. The point is not you move, the point is that you move, because the moment is life. Even in the busiest schedules, movement is possible. You don't need an hour. Start with 10 minutes, start with what you can. Even a short burst of stretching. Questions. Or a few deep squats can shift your energy. Once you experience the freshness it brings, question, we naturally want to continue. Imagine this, you do some leg exercise and your body feels strong. You go to walk, questions, and your mind feels sharp. Jo retume an instead of collapsing on the couch, jo sti ave energi för jo familj questions. Jo robies jo dreams. Contrastis with someonen wodove intente morning. Vite en of te dai, te fel exhausted hiests, irritated and lifeless. Movement is not just about the alt, it is about quality of life. And ere is the best part, questions. Momentum te vodi creates momentum in life. When you start your day with action, you carry that energy into your goals, questions, your projects, your relationships. You become proactive instead of reactive. You stop postponing and start progressing. Because once the wheel of momentum begins turning, it naturally keeps turning. Me dear friends, the body and mind are not separate questions. They are deeply connected. A restless mind often comes from an idle body. A focused mind is usually supported via an active body. That is WHY movement is the master key to building momentum in every area of life. So tomorrow morning, don't let laziness change you down. Rise, move, stretch, walk, run questions. Dante to something that shakes the dust of your body and lifts up your spirit. Because if you move your body, questions, your mind moves with it. And when your mind moves with energy, your life moves with purpose. Movement creates momentum, questions, movement creates mastery. And that mastery, friends, begins the very moment you chose to rise and move. Questions is the steering wheel or life. Imagine hine sitting inside a car without holding the steering wheel. The engine is on, question is moving, but because there is no direction, it could crash anywhere. Now think about your life. Every day is like a cajone. You have 24 hours of fuel. You have energy in your body, thoughts in your mind, questions and aims in your heart. But without a steering wheel, without direction where we are off this takejo. You might have speed, but speed without direction only leads to accidents. That is the early morning is the steering wheel of your life. What you do in those first few hours after waking up decides where the rest of your day will go. If your morning is rushed out the questions, and undeterred thy wish was scattered. But if your morning is calm, purposeful, and intentional, your day will flow with clarity. Questions. In other words, joy is the wheel of your morning. Your automatically the steering wheel of your life. Question of a leveling and I plan. If pilot adjust the route we just on the grey at the start of the journey, it may look like nothing. But with the team te plane has traveled thousands of kilometers, because it could land in a completely different country. The same is true for us. The way we set our direction in morning my fails my questions, but it determines where we land at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and eventually at the end of our lives. Now let's bring this to daily life. Imagine WOP. The first walk is uplate ruses to het ready, skips breakfast, screws stroke social media, and dashes out the door. He hasn't set any plan for the day. The car of his life is moving fast, but without a steering wheel. Vite evening, he feels exhausted and yet dissatisfied, because he didn't control the direction. Questions. The second person walks up early a few key moments left on his goals, rites on tre priorities for the day. Can steps out with clarity. A miles away vusi becanos what is staring towards. At the end of the day, he feels a sense of achievement and peace. Some hours, some workload, questions, but completely different results because one person who set the steering wheel of the morning and the other let life drive him randomly. Questions. Have you ever noticed that when you start your day in a hurry, the entire day feels like you are chasing things? Questions. But when you start your day with a few minutes of calm planning, the day feels smoother, even if it is busy. Questions. That's because the morning sets a direction. Just like the steering wheel directs the car before it speeds up. Questions. The morning directs the day where it takes off. Let me share another analogy. Have you seen a train before it starts its journey? The tracks must be aligned. If the tracks are even slightly wrong at the start, Te train cannot reach the correct station. Questions. The morning is when you are leading the tracks of your mind. If you are leading them with clarity and purpose, your day runs smoothly. Questions. If you might spend the whole day running, but never arriving where you actually wanted to go. It is a simple exercise. Questions. Te regrega reading of questions in the morning. What is my purpose today? What are the most important three things in it to do? Questions. And what kind of person do I want to be today? It is questions as you're stating well. When changes appear. Questions. Instead of being thrown around, you can hold on your morning intention and stay on track. Think of athletes. Before they are rather vegans. Questions. They don't just randomly run. They set their focus, visualize the track, and prepare their mind. That short preparation makes a difference in the outcome. Similar questions. Or rather each day is determined via we prepare in the morning. Another daily life example. If you have ever cooked a meal, questions. You can know that the preparations take chopping, marinating, arranging ingredients take steam. If you prepare a wage, cooking becomes smooth. But if you rush into cooking without preparation, you waste the time burn forward and head stressed. Questions. The morning is the preparation stage of your entire day. It is where yoga talks, align your energy. Questions. And set your intention. Without that, the day is silly or burns out. A many people think success is about big decisions. Questions. But the truth is success is about small decisions repeated consistently. And the first small decision of every day is how you hold the steering wheel of your morning. Do you let for push you randomly? Questions. Or do you steer it with clarity? The morning is not just the start of the day, it is the start of your life's direction. It is the invisible force that guides your energy, your focus, your productivity, and even your happiness. If you lose the morning, questions your direction. If you master the morning, you master your path. So the next time you wake up, remember the car, the plan, questions, the train, the mails remain off on a truth. Direction matters more than speed, and that direction is set in the morning. Questions, steering wheel firmly. Set your intention clearly. Because when the morning is questions, the journey of the day and eventually the journey of life flows in the right direction. Early morning is not just a time. Questions is the steering wheel of your life. All that we say, steer it consciously, and it we take you exactly where you are meant to be. Questions. A restless body creates a restless mind. Ave you ever tried to sit still and focus on something important after sitting a day long without moving your body? You feel restless, unable to concentrate, and your thoughts keep running in a very direction. Questions. That's because our body and mind are deeply connected. So restless body creates a restless mind. If the body is stiff, heavy or lazy, question means with calm. But when the body is light and active, the mind also feels peaceful and focused. Think of it this way: your body is like a container, and your mind is like the water inside it. Questions. If the container is constantly shaking, the water inside will never settle. If the container is steady, questions, the water inside is clear. In the same way, when the body is restless, the mind cannot be still. Questions. But when you take care of the body through movement, posture, breathing, the mind naturally finds clarity. Questions. Let's take a daily life example. Imagine you spend your whole morning lying in bed, eating a heavy food, question, and watching TV without moving much. The afternoon, your body feels sluggish, your energy is low. Questions. And when the regret or at something important to focus on work, your mind keeps drifting. On the other hand, imagine you wake up. Questions. Stretch your body, go for a walk and keep yourself active. When you sit to focus on work, your body feels alive. Questions. Your breathing is steady and your mind feels sharp. The difference is not in the task, it's in the state of the body. Times we complain WHY can't concentrate. WHY do feel anxious, but the truth is, questions. Much more mental restlessness from physical restlessness. Poor sleep, lack of exercise, unhealthy food. Questions. Regular routines disturb the body, and the body in turn disturbs the mind. You cannot expect a calm, sharp. Questions. And the hopeful mean if you are treating your body carelessly. Think about a child when sitting indoors I die. After some time. Questions. The child becomes cranky and difficult to handle. But once the child goes outside the place, and releases that energy. Questions. The return no me calmer and appear. Adults are no different. We might not play on swings anymore, but our body still needs movement. Questions. If we don't release the energy through healthy activity, it turns into mental restlessness, irritation, or even anxiety. Questions. Simple example. Have you noticed that is to focus your extremely tired or sleep deprived? The body is restless, stjonsing and turning, and the mind mirrors the same state. Compare that to a when you at good rest, a light morning stretch, questions healthy food, your mind feels steady and peaceful. It shows us clearly our mind's state is a reflection of our body's state. Questions. Everything plays a role. When the body is tense, the breath becomes shallow and quick, and the mind feels anxious. Questions. But when relaxed the body and take slow deep breaths, suddenly the mind slows down too. That's why practices like yoga and meditation focus so much on body postures and breathing. Questions. Calming the body instead or why to calming the mind. Imagine going to a lake. If the surface is disturbed with strong winds. Questions. You can say only is venate water. But when the surface is calm, you can say clearly. The mind is the same. Questions. Our body is like a strong wind keeps disturbing the surface of the mind, and you cannot say your own thoughts clearly. Questions. But when the body is calm, the mind also settles, and suddenly your inner world becomes clear. Here's an example from work life. TWO employees sit in the same office. On slouches in the chair is die, rarely moves. Questions. And at the abyss not his desk. With the afternoon, his body is uncomfortable, his posture is bad. Questions. And this means struggles to stay alert. Theoterakes my reacts, walks for a few minutes, stretches, and keeps his posture upright. His body feels like there, and because of that, his mind stays sharper. Both are doing the same job. But their productivity are very different because one understands that a restless body creates a restless mind. Questions. Some people think they can solve their mental restlessness only with reading or thinking differently. But true mental health is not just about the mind. It is about the body too. The ancient wisdom of many traditions teaches this simple truth. If you care for the body, you care for the mind. Questions. You neglect the body, the mind pays the price. So what can we do? We don't need to spend those in the gym. Questions. Even simple things like stretching after waking up, taking a walk in fresh air, maintaining good posture while sitting, eating light food that energizes instead of drains, and giving the body rest that you need. These my actions create a calmness in the body, and the calmness flows into the mind. Think of it to learning a musical instrument. Questions. If the strings are totally tolose, the music sounds unpleasant. But when the strings are balanced, the music flows beautifully. Our body is the instrument, and our mind is the music. If the body is restless, the music of the mind is noisy. But when the body is balanced, the mind plays a melody of peace. My dear friends, questions for this connection. The mind always floats separately from the body. They are deeply linked. Questions. A restless body will always create a restless mind. But a calm and cared-for body will give birth to a calm and focused mind. So, the next time you feel your mind running in a very direction, don't just limit your thoughts. Ask yourself, how is my body? Questions. Am I moving enough? Am I breathing deeply? Am I resting well? Because the state of your body is the state of your mind. And when you choose to calm the body, you are also choosing to calm the mind. That is the secret of true inner peace.